We're live.
Okay, yay.
Just entertaining the troops while you're pushing buttons.
I am pushing buttons and going live. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen Curry Parker, and I am so excited to be here today with I'll call you my business partner. That's so limiting, but my creative companion, my cosmic collaborator, my soul sister, and co-founder of the Matrix Makerspace. And we wanted to just take a couple of minutes today and talk a little bit about how we are creating a space, a virtual online co-working space for self-employed business people, for entrepreneurs, for cultural creatives, for people who are in business, because we've been in business collectively between the two of us. I think if we do the math, it's like, 100 years?
Yeah, probably.
And, over the years between the two of us, we've had, three, at least I can count, of $1 million businesses. We've had a publishing company. We've had a business together. We've had, well, on top of that, we've had, between the two of us, how many kids? You've had 10 foster children. I have 8 children. You have a daughter. Yeah. We have husbands, sisters, brothers, aging parents, teenage kids, dogs, bears in our front yard. You name it. We have walked this path of creating business and doing business and even sustaining our families while literally sustaining our families. And over the years, we've had this beautiful connection. We actually met in a business mastermind group. But we've seen in the marketplace as coaches and as teachers, a real need for business people to have a place where they can get support, and sometimes get support not by getting dressed and going out of the house sometimes, because sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes getting support because the nature of what you're doing is different and groundbreaking and cutting edge, and maybe nobody's never done it before, and you need a place where you can just go and bounce ideas off. Sometimes we see that business people need support because the technology changes constantly, even like what we're doing here on Facebook. This platform, the way it is right now, wasn't here 2 months ago, right? And who knows what it's going to be 2 months from now. And when you are in business, you've got to constantly be not only keeping up your business, but also constantly evolving just that piece, and having an online place where you can go and talk to somebody and go, hey, my Facebook algorithms are this, and my click-through rate is this, and I don't know what to do, and help me, is really powerful and important, and it keeps you from going insane.
Yeah, and it's not just support. So I want to talk about that for a minute, because I've been thinking a lot about what it is that I would want and what I do want from this community that we're creating. And for me, it's a sense of belonging. And I talked about this the other day on Facebook to my email list, my community. I don't always feel like I belong in a lot of the stuff. Like, I can go to a networking meeting and I just feel like a fish out of water, or I can join a Facebook group that talks about technology, but they don't quite get that I've got a whole life besides my business. And it's all intertwined. So sometimes I am making sales calls in my bathroom, and sometimes I'm out on the road with my daughter, and and sometimes I'm in my office, right? Not everybody gets that. And so I just want to go where I'm not judged about being who I am, running the business the way that works for me. When I have like a lot of these people who are so successful don't seem to have kids at home. I mean, some do.
They have wives.
Yes, a lot of them have wives, right?
Right.
And those people are also welcome in this group. And I need a place where I belong, where people aren't judging me for, oh my gosh, I had to sleep in this morning because I just didn't get to bed till 2 because I was dealing with family stuff or whatever, right? And so it's support, it's community, it's belonging.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, we're talking here to human design people. You know, one of the things we talk about a lot with human design is there's no formula. There's only you and your correct way of creating, your way of being in the world, including your way of doing business. And going back to the belonging piece, you know, finding, I'm going to digress, and it's a weird digression, but roll with me. My husband's an architect. So I don't know if you've ever been around a lot of architects, but they don't see the world like other people either. And so this morning, he's looking out across the street at the light reflecting off the roof of the building across the street, the house across the street. And he's like, you know, if you really think about it, all the materials that the building are constructed from, that's foreign material, and that the world is in and of itself, you know, the trees and nature, and the building is this foreign thing, and we put it there. And I thought, because I can understand architecturese, it's a different language, but I thought, you know, there's something about that. You know, we're so used to seeing buildings that we don't understand that the landscape of the world, even though buildings are there, you know, really the landscape of the world is kind of wild and natural, and our creation is sort of the foreign piece. And we think we don't see that way because we're so conditioned to think, oh, houses, that we don't go, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't here before. When we are in business for ourselves, you know, we're really oftentimes, especially I think if you're getting out of a business where you have a job, so to speak, and you're moving into the arena of having your own business or being self-employed, you don't realize that there's a natural landscape, and what you choose to put in that landscape, you know, you don't have to just put houses there because that's all you've ever seen. You actually can start to create something really, really different. And a lot of, I think, business people do. I mean, that's what creates innovation in the marketplace. And that's ultimately kind of what creates profit. You create something different that other people want.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it's also really lonely sometimes because you're the only one in the beginning doing this thing, and you need bounce back from other people to go, okay, you know, you're not crazy and this is a brilliant idea, or hey, have you thought about this aspect of it and can you tweak it a little bit, you know? And having that community of people who are also sort of going, okay, not houses, let's do yurts or whatever, you know?
Right, whatever. Yeah, I want to jump in here for a minute. Oh, and say hi to the people who joined us on Facebook. Hi, you guys. Thanks for being with us. There's this saying that you don't know what you don't know, and I never quite understood that. Because that's obvious, you don't know what you do. But then I belong to a community online right now. It's a business community that I'm getting a lot of value from. And I posted a question about a website problem that I was having. Just kind of threw it out there. And all of a sudden, I got this brilliant answer back about a plugin that I'd never heard of. And it fixed a whole huge problem for me, right? That I didn't even know there was this workaround. And it's like it hit me. You don't even know what you don't know. If I hadn't asked the question, I wouldn't have gotten this brilliant answer that was so easy to solve. And so I think part of what we're building is a place to be able to say, I don't know what I don't know. And hey, does anyone else have an answer to this? Does anyone else have the same question? I run across this roadblock. I'm trying to build my website and this happened. I wasn't able to close this person on the sale, and I've talked to her 6 times. Why is that? And just get feedback on some of these things that as entrepreneurs we go through every single day.
Absolutely.
Because there's lots of people out there that have gone through it as well.
Exactly. And I think, you know, a lot of the features that we're going to be, let's just cover some of the features of what we're creating in this Matrix Makerspace. First of all, it is a virtual online co-working space. You'll have the ability to literally log in and work in a virtual co-working community. So there will be other people logged in. And we've done this, you and I have done this before. We actually did a whole book writing retreat online, a virtual retreat, where people just showed up on a Saturday morning for 5 hours and worked on their books. And we troubleshooted back and forth. We broke off into little mini rooms if we had questions. So we're going to expand that concept in the Matrix Makerspace, where you'll have the opportunity to log into a co-working place where you can connect with other people. We will have classes and courses, specific topics that you guys, the members, have told us that you need to help support you in growing your business. We'll be bringing in master teachers who will cover specific topics of expansion when we see that maybe there's a need there for a topic that maybe, we need to reach out to other people to bring them in. We're planning on having book group where you can read, it doesn't have to be heavy stuff, but really look at reading, new material that's coming out. I'm actually just reading Profit First. Have you read that one, Michelle?
Yeah. I did a whole class on it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I have revisiting that, and I keep thinking, I need a support group for this, because it's such a different way of doing accounting that,
right.
I question myself when I start to do it, and it would be really great to talk this through with some people. So we'll be having book groups. We're going to be having happy hours.
I know, I'm looking forward to the happy hour.
I know.
I want to jump in here though, because one of the things that I know that a lot of people join a group like this and then drop out.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just get it out there. It's because we're all in so much overwhelm.
Yeah.
And so anyone who wants information or wants to join this, I just want to be clear that if all you can give it is 15 minutes or an hour a month, you will get value out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this one question that I asked that totally changed how I did the website, because this plugin was that one question was worth it for the whole month of me belonging, right?
Totally.
So you can take part in all of these different things or not.
Right.
You can ask one question and it'll be value. You can pop in for the happy hour, right?
Exactly.
And have some fun, or you can take advantage of all these things. So I interrupted you because I also really want to talk about our workbook that we're creating.
Yes, absolutely. Because one of the building blocks for the Matrix Makerspace is our Matrix Maker manifesto, which is one of the things that Michelle and I have noticed over the years. And again, between the two of us, I was kind of joking about the 100 years, but we definitely have more than 50 years of collective experience coaching people. And one of the things that we have learned is that there are some specific pieces of information that people have to have, you have to have, about who you are, what drives you, your platform for your business, your focus. That's some of the basic stuff, but there's underneath it, there's some proprietary bits of information, some knowledge that we have that we've gathered over the years of serving the community, not just as coaches and teachers, but also from our own experience and our own explorations, pieces of information that you have to have in place to get your business going. And this is the kicker. There isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to business. You guys have heard me say this a billion times. It doesn't matter whether it's business or anything.
I say it too over and over.
There's just your business. And just like a journey, if you go on a journey and you don't have a map and you're just driving around willy-nilly, you might have some great experiences along the way. I'm not saying that's not fun, but in the end, you probably are not going to have the same quality of experience as you would have if you had an itinerary and a map and a direction, and you knew not just the direction, but how you were going to get there. And you could, especially on those days when your motivation is in the tank and you've been up to 2 o'clock in the morning with a crying 14-year-old who broke up with her boyfriend or whatever it might be, and I've been there before, that on those days, you still have that plan. You have that map. You have that place where you can go, okay, this is who I am. And this is where I'm headed. Go ahead, jump
Yeah,
in.
I got to jump in because this is a personal manifesto. So
Yes.
when you're talking about there's no one way fits all. So you're going to be bringing in, this is a workbook that we will help you through, but it's in your own time, but will end up as your manifesto. And so it is how you want to live your life, what gifts and skills you bring to the table, what your purpose is, what your vision is, how your human design fits in, how your business and marketing archetypes fit in, how you're able to then go build your business from this personal manifesto. So,
or not just build, but also grow, because
and grow, right?
Yeah,
right. Because, right, that's such a good distinction because we're all working on projects all the time. Even those of us who have been in business a long time, there's a new phase, there's a new project, there's a new launch, there's a new service, there's a new idea, whatever, right? So good distinction.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are still building the program, but because it's summertime and we wanted to start giving people the opportunity to explore some of the information that we're working with and some of what we're playing with, we have created a waiting list for people. If you're interested in becoming, or at least having the opportunity to register as a foundation member of the Matrix Makerspace, we have a waiting list that we've created. You can join the waiting list. It's gracepointmatrix.com. If you go to that page. Sorry, we can put the link up.
I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, she already did it. I love it when I have a manifesting generator partner.
Also, I just want to say that I interviewed you about mindset and creativity and how important those things are and what they really mean for your business. And that's going out as an exclusive interview to people on the wait list.
And we just interviewed you. I just interviewed you, and Michelle talked about her work around purpose and profit and how you have to embody the way in which you have to embody your purpose in order to create profit. And that's also going to be in there now for our waiting list people. So you'll get at least a good taste to get started. So
let's see if anyone's got questions. We've got some.
Yeah, people, absolutely.
We've got some people on Facebook. I might have to what's it called? Refresh. So let me see if anyone has any questions about what we're doing. At some point, we can give a behind the scenes look at what we're doing. Hi, you guys. It's good to see you all there. Hi.
Good. Sorry, I have us here too. So,
you have what?
I have us here too. That's what. So I can see questions, because otherwise I can't see questions on this platform. So
yeah. So good. If there's any questions about what we're offering, if anyone wants to see a behind the scenes look, I'd be happy to show you a couple of things. We should do that sometime soon.
We should do that sometime. That's a good idea. A sneak peek of what we're creating behind the scenes. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to hanging out with people of like mind, answering questions, leading mastermind groups, and so forth. You're going to be leading the book studies. Maybe you do.
I like doing book study.
I'm looking forward to being in a book study with you.
That'll be fun. We have, I think that just the other piece that I just want to close with is, when if you look at the statistics that are being put out by the government, the fastest growing sector of the tax base in our country is small businesses and home-based businesses. And I don't think that trend is going to come to an end anytime soon. In fact, I think it's going to be a trend that we're going to continue to see grow and accelerate. And the idea of being kind of in this new frontier of business, I think, personally, it's really kind of an exciting frontier to be on. But I also think it's a calling. It's a calling to serve the world from that place. And it's being in business for yourself is, and I don't think people think about this often, but it is kind of a renegade way of being. When I think about my dad and how my dad did business, my dad was a cradle to grave corporate guy. Now, he lost his job in his mid-40s and had to start over, scrambling literally from ground zero to build his own business. but I think, we're seeing this evolution of this mindset of, cradle to grave employment in a corporate setting to having to engineer a new world of work. And the exciting aspect of being able to engineer a new world of work that is honoring of who we are individually and how we operate individually, and looking at changing the paradigms around business and employment and self-employment and freedom and profit and income, and even the drivers that create freedom and profit and income and how those are changing. It's an exciting time, and I'm looking forward to expanding on the conversations that we have, not only for the sake of growing our businesses, but I think it's a culturally creative conversation that is about changing the face of how we create support in the world and sufficiency in the world.
That's so important, Karen. We're in a totally different place than we were 3 or 5 years ago around and so many people are out there trying to have multiple streams of income, trying to do business from their house or coffee shop or whatever, right? Spaces. And it's changed so much in the last few years that if you're not on the pulse of your own creativity, you get stuck in these ruts that might work for today but won't work in a year because the energy is changing so quickly.
Totally.
So you got to really be in your own creative process, but also that fire inside, and that's something you and I both love to talk about. So
yes, absolutely.
Someone asked if they could have a behind the scenes look. What do you think?
Oh, I think we should.
Page?
Peel back the curtain and reveal. Let's show. Yeah, let's do the homepage.
Okay, don't do a share quite yet, because I gotta log in.
You have to share.
I have to share. Okay, so give me just a minute to log in. Why is it not working? Because my computer has got this so much going on. There we go. All right, I'm pulling it up right now. All right, so I can share. All right, I'm going to share my screen for you guys, and I'm just going to show you something. Can you see that? So absolutely. This is the behind the scenes look at what we're creating here. So if you click, you'll see the whole menu, but I'm just going to scroll down and.
Oh, we didn't talk about pods. The other thing is you are going to have the option. Okay, you can show them. You've got pods down here.
Yeah, I'm going to show.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this will be the monthly training. Every month there'll be a training, and then there'll be a discussion group around that training and a Q&A. And you and I are going to switch off on those monthly trainings. So sometimes it'll be around purpose and profit, building a business. Sometimes it'll be around quantum, the economy, and creating a quantum business and so forth. And we'll switch off. We have a whole discussion group and mastermind around creating your own matrix manifesto. You will get your own workbook when you join, and you will also have a mastermind. We have courses and trainings. I'll go ahead and click on that just so you can see some of the ones that are up right now. We've got Business by Design. There's a lot of stuff up for authors who want to write books, a lot of stuff up on purpose and profit. Mastermind pods. So that's what you started to talk about. Intimate, small discussion groups that will be led by Karen or myself, but also you guys just jump in and have your own masterminds and discussions on everything, discussions on technical support and what do I do with my website, or how do I get new clients? We're going to have all kinds of discussions. I have a 14-year-old at home. How can I run my business when she just broke up with her boyfriend, right? We've got a break room you can go to at any time and just hang out with other people. We've got laser coaching and open office hours. We're going to have mastermind groups, book discussions, lots of worksheets and checklists and things that you can download. So this is just a quick behind the scenes look at what we've got going so far.
Right, but I think also the point that you made is it's rich in terms of the kind of support and or information that it gives you, but it's also really simple. So it's not like you're going to log on and you're going to go, oh my God, what do I do? There's so much here. It's, you know, because you're going to have your Matrix manifesto, you know, you'll have a clear plan and you'll know exactly like, okay, this week I'm working on list building. For example, you may not ever work on list building if that's not your kind of business, but maybe that's what you decide that this is your goal for the week and you set your intentions and maybe you join a pod where that's your focus. And in that pod, that's what you're going to be talking about or masterminding with. And you keep where, you know, our goal is to keep it as simple and clear as possible because, you know, as Michelle pointed out, I mean, it's easy to get overwhelmed. How many, I've taken courses. I bought a Facebook course this week that this year, I bought it in January. I told Cindy, I said, Cindy, you take it because, right. And neither one of us have taken it. You know, we took one lesson. We were like, okay, that was one lesson. There's only 7 more to go.
But sometimes when you need it, you're ready to jump in and do it. Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So that's the other thing. People that join this, there's a library of courses. There's a vault of courses that I started to show that you can take when you're ready. It's all included. There's no upcharge or anything for any of the courses, but it's got to be where you're at in the moment so that you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to buy this course now and I have to take it now. Take a breath and do the things you need to do in the moment, what's on your plate now, so you don't go into that overwhelm.
Right. And, you know, you're not going to be paying $64,000 for a couple hours of coaching. It's something that can just be part of your business resource, right. And you can really play with it and work with it. So
just to be clear, the doors are not open. We're not selling anything.
We're not ready yet.
List right now. It's just
well, we got excited.
We're just excited about it. We wanted to share. There will be, this was a question that came up. There will be a low monthly price. It's going to be a pretty low price. We want to make it affordable for everybody. We haven't landed on the price yet. We're going to be sending out a survey to people on the wait list asking how much personal interaction they want. Because if you guys want a lot of time with Karen and I, the price has to go up a little bit more. If you're like, I just want to be part of this community and have access to you guys once a month, and that's enough, then we can keep the price a lot lower. And we're going to survey because we're building this around your needs, and we want to make it as affordable for as many people as we can.
And we're building a community. You know, it's, you know, that's a big part of our intention.
It's not just us.
We want to create a place where you belong and you can do your work in the world and be aligned with your work in the world and your purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Is there another question?
Yeah, Annette asked, what is the wait list for? The wait list is just to find out more as we release more. That's it. I don't think we're going to do different memberships in that, although we are going to do a private mastermind with Karen and I that will include some virtual retreats and in-person retreats, and we are working on that. So, you know, as you guys know, it gets expensive to work one-on-one with a coach. So we're trying to make a community where we all support each other and where Karen and I are available. And then if you need more one-on-one, obviously we have our own programs as well, but we're also creating a private group mastermind for the people who need or want more intensive personal connection. It's my alarm.
Kids calling.
So right now the wait list is just to be informed as we roll out some things, and we're going to be sending content and interviews and surveys and all kinds of things. Melinda, will you be supporting all types of businesses? I think so.
Yeah.
I think pretty much
our goal is
we have to offer. I will tell you, and I know this isn't you, but I will tell you that I have turned down a couple of clients in the last year that had some businesses that were, in my mind, very unethical. So,
But that's not you.
but that's not you, Melinda. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there that, yeah, probably, within reason.
We'll have
Um,
some caveats.
yeah, no drug stuff, no sex stuff, whatever. But
Yeah.
what kind of business do you have, Melinda? Do you know, Karen?
I
Anyway, Melinda, just pop it for me because I
yeah,
don't
put
know.
it,
No, yeah, I didn't think so. What kind of business do you have, Melinda? But I'm sure we'll be supporting. If you're on this page, I'm sure we're supporting you. We do brick and mortar businesses. I have supported holistic practitioners for 30 years. So any kind of massage, cranial sacral, nutritionist, all that big, broad thing, brick and mortar types of service businesses, but still where you have a physical space. I've also been a consultant to a tire store and all kinds of other brick and mortar businesses. So I think there's some value that both Karen and I can bring, but the value is in the entrepreneurial mindset and the support and the community that we're all doing this new quantum creative business that is emerging out in the world now.
yes. And so, yes, so Melinda, a coaching business, it's not just human design businesses. We use human design as part of helping you in your manifesto, making sure that when you craft your business style, that your business style meets your energy needs, so that you're not trying to create business in a way that is going to burn you out or deplete you energetically, and that you're marketing and you're promoting and you're doing business in a way that's right for your energy type. But we're definitely not just human design businesses at all. That's a component of what we're doing. We just, the goal here is to, create a quantum business. And I'm using that term very carefully because I don't want to shut people out who maybe aren't thinking that way yet. And it may be, I personally think that if you're inspired to go into business for yourself, whether you're aware of it or not, you're probably building a quantum business at this point, meaning
At this point, yeah.
You're building a business where the driver might not just be profit, for example. I find that the drive of just going to business for money isn't necessarily sustaining people in business anymore, that there has to be more to what's driving you in the business, and there has to be more around the intention of what you're creating with your business. But that, I think not everybody's totally conscious or aware of what that's about. And I even think it's so new that even some of us who are even throwing out vocabulary words like quantum business, we don't really know yet what that's going to be. It's literally a new frontier, a new leading edge of what the economy is becoming as we are changing, and as we need to change, I think, on a global level to shift profit back into communities and shift profit back into local energies, and have a quality of integrity in the way in which you do business, so that we don't only create the profit, that we are integrating whatever it is that we're creating in our business back into our communities and our global communities, so that we're not just making money for ourselves and supporting ourselves, but also creating greater levels of well-being for the planet. And again, in whatever, it doesn't matter what we're doing, but in any way that we're being together.
That's part of the matrix too. It's that we're all interconnected. And so when I am running my business, just as being part of the global community, it affects other people out there. It's chaos theory. Whatever I do affects somebody across the globe. And most of us, I think, want to give back and want to make a positive difference in the world. And so that's part of what I mean when I'm talking about quantum business, is being aware that things that I do have a ripple effect that I may or may not ever be consciously aware of, but I do want to know that I'm having a positive ripple effect, and
absolutely
bringing that to my business.
And Annette was talking about, well, I think Annette made one more comment about starting a 501c or C3. And, I want to just talk about that for 1 second, because when we talk about the not-for-profit model, I think we have to, it's a really important place to really be mindful around the idea that it's still a business, and the better the not-for-profit business does, the more money you have to do the intention of your business. And one of the things that I see happen a lot with not-for-profit businesses, and I've worked with a lot of them over the years, is they get confused about what does it mean to be not-for-profit, and they sometimes drop into what I might gently say is a poverty consciousness around their business, because I think the language we use around it isn't very empowering. And, you know, when you're doing that kind of a business, you're still in business, and you still have to know how to do the business. The only thing that's really different is the driver is more clearly focused on supporting people with the profit that you make, and obviously the accounting and some of the way in which you run the business, it's, you know, there's very clear specifications that you have to do it a certain way, otherwise you're violating some of the regulations around that. But other than that, it's still a business, and you want to kick butt with that business, because the better you do, the more people can receive from what you're creating. So
yeah, amen, it says in that, and so do I. Would an art teaching business supporting healthy families being something you support? Of course, it sounds phenomenal. I don't know exactly what you mean by art teaching in healthy families, but I love that connection, and I can't wait to see what that is.
I just bought all the drawing on the right side of the brain workbooks, about a whole stack of 4 of them, and we're gonna do that as a family over the summer, Linda. So I'm eager to hear what you have to offer. We're all gonna draw together.
Doesn't this sound cool?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So yes, we support all kinds of businesses. And to be clear, we're not selling anything yet. So several people have asked, like,
nope,
is it monthly? All we're doing is we have a wait list. The link is here. It's gravespointmatrix.com. Just sign up to be on the wait list at this point. It is going to be a monthly fee that will give you access to everything. Someone asked earlier, is there access if you don't join? I have my programs available on my website you can buy. Karen has some of her programs available on her website that you can buy. I have a Facebook group right now, but this is a more intimate, sacred space community. It's going to be a safe space for us to show up, a little bit moderated, in terms of making sure that we all feel safe to speak our truth about our business and our life. And so I just like to call it a sacred space, I guess.
Yeah. And I think, it's also that community piece.
Yeah.
It's just that again, there is a model out there. I don't know if you've ever heard of this co-working space called The Hub, and they have a couple of them across the country, and they are a very empowered set of self-employed people who also, as part of this collaborative co-working space that they belong to, they also launch certain social activist kinds of projects. And I'm not saying we're necessarily going to be doing that, but I do envision, I think you and I, Michelle and I have both envisioned down the road that, as we get more established and continue to grow, that this becomes a platform of, I'll say, economic activism. And even if it's just economic activism by virtue of showing the world that, look, it's possible for you to do high integrity business that contributes good value in the marketplace, that enhances the quality of well-being with everyone it touches, whether it's your team, whether it's you personally, whether it's your family, whether it's your clients and your clients' family, or even your leads, people who maybe never buy anything from you, that you're still giving them something to make their life better. And that this is the new way of doing business in the world. And that we want to demonstrate to people that it is possible to have that quality of economic growth and evolution on the planet, so that we can support the creation of that, not just in our community, but ultimately in communities throughout the world. But that's my pie in the sky big dream. So
Awesome.
All right,
last questions. I hope we've shared everything. It's gracepointmatrix.com. The link is in the comments. I'll put it up again when we hang up, so it's the last comment or the first comment you see. Anything else to share? Oh, I do want to say that we plan on launching here's kind of the timeline.
Yes.
Can I share that?
Yes, please.
A loose timeline, but because we have families that we work around and summer vacation. Waitlist is open right now. We're sending exclusive private content to the waitlist as sort of a thank you for joining. So when you sign up, you'll be getting things starting this week. We'll be opening the doors maybe in about 6 weeks. We're going to have founding member price, which will be like bottom dollar. Get in now, founding price. And then we might close the doors for a little while so that we can really work on creating that sacred space with the founding members first. Then Karen is speaking at Creative Reboot in Santa Fe. And I'm going along. We'll be talking about this a little bit there. And we will,
in Hot Springs. We'll be talking about it in Hot Springs.
And we'll be opening the doors again to the public then. And starting the Matrix Maker Manifesto course at that point. And then there's a private retreat in Colorado Springs in October, which is an additional package you could choose to purchase and come on the retreat and go even more deeply into your personal manifesto during that retreat in October. So that's kind of the timeline through October for those of you interested in more details and specifics. We'll have a sales page up pretty soon, but right now it's just waitlist.
So join us so you can at least get started and get a taste and a feel for our community, and we'll keep you posted with more information as we continue to involve our creative process here. So I want to thank you, Michelle.